Hello, welcome to my video, Things You Didn't Know About Cherries. Cherries are known as drupes, or stone fruits. A drupe is a type of fruit in which an outer fleshy part surrounds a shell with a seed inside, sometimes known as a pit. Some examples of drupes are peaches, plums, and also some nut varieties in which we eat the seed inside the pit instead of the fruit itself. The first commercial tart cherry orchards in Michigan were planted in 1893, although cherries were brought to America by ship with early settlers in the 1600s. There are more than 500 varieties of sweet cherries known today, but only a small percentage, around 20 or so altogether, are used in commercial production. This includes Lapin's two Lamberts, Rainers, and perhaps the most famous of them all for their super sweetness, pink cherries. Surprisingly, a typical cherry tree produces around 7,000 cherries. This can take some time to harvest with manual work. So what's the fastest and most efficient way to harvest them? Many farmers and growers use a mechanical shaker which is designed to grip the trees and rattle it hard enough to loosen the fruit, which falls onto a giant tarp that is then fed onto a conveyor belt. This process is astonishingly fast, taking only 7 seconds to harvest a full cherry tree, although producing many cherries. A cherry tree usually takes 3 to 4 years once it is planted to produce its first crop of fruit, and 7 years to full maturity. Archaeologists have discovered fossilized cherry pits in prehistoric caves throughout Europe and Asia, indicating this sweet fruit has been around a long time. The earliest written mention of cherries comes from the Greek author Theophrastus, who inventoried the fruit in his History of Plants in 300 BCE, 3rd century BC, also around the same time. Diphilus of Siphanos, a Greek author and physician, wrote of cherries' usefulness as a diuretic, so we know these delicious fruits made it around, which brings us to our next fact. Fun fact. There was a saying that to find the old Roman roads, all one had to do was follow the wild cherry trees. So much to a point it could be a fairly put saying, as cherries were part of Roman soldiers' rations, and as they traveled quite often the cherry pits were discarded and became the trees that proliferated throughout the empire. Spread far and wide. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe for future content.